Not safe for work. What is the best accidental nudity you have seen? Hi Reddit guys. Subscribe now, or Google will block you. As a kid, I always went to summer camp in a different state, and we would often take multi-day canoe trips around the general area. On one of these trips, after a long day of paddling down a river, the trip leader decided to stop on an island and set up camp for the night. As the day progressed, the sunshine turned to rain, and before we knew it, it was a full-on monsoon. As me and a bunch of other boys huddled under a tarp, someone pointed out two people swimming on the other side of the river. We notice it's two guys and a girl and continue to watch. Before we know it, the girl stands up, revealing that she is actually completely nude. In fact, all three were skinny dipping. Being teenage boys, we began to yell and wave at them, asking if they would like any s'mores, while taking turns looking through the binoculars. We thought they would be embarrassed. However, they weren't fazed by this, and one of the dudes began to swim over. I will never forget his face as he got closer and realized we were a bunch of little kids. Needless to say, we gave him a s'more. I installed security alarms, cameras, sensors, locks. On one install I placed a camera in the master bedroom like the husband had asked. While I was still there installing, I was checking the cameras and finishing up the tests, and the wife came out of the bathroom completely naked from the shower. I hastily tried to exit the screen, but the husband, who was peering over my shoulder, told me not to and just stared at his naked wife while I was in between him and the screen. Do you ever get install requests that are for clearly sketchy purposes? Yeah, I just want to make sure no one is breaking into my house through the plumbing. Freaking Morido. Around 16 at the time, I left my house after my sister and her two friends came over, one of which is just absolutely banging with an amazing body that I may have thought about once or twice. Anyway, nobody else was home. Forgot something in my room, so I ran back in, but I guess nobody heard me come in. I walked down the hallway to my room and past my sister's doorway that was open. I glance over and my brain locks me into place mid-stride. Jaw hits the floor while it burns the image of her butt naked cupping her breasts. They all look over at me and scream. I can't look away. She runs toward me and closes the door. I ran to my room, took a few minutes to savor what I saw, and left. Took a few minutes to savor what I saw. Is that what we're calling it now? Female friend of mine was getting ready for her sister's wedding. She was sending me snaps of herself asking questions like necklace or no to me and her boyfriend, and she accidentally sent me a picture of her tits hanging out in the dress she was wearing. I guess she got a screenshot notification. Just screenshot every Snapchat, then say all of your friends get that from you. You think it's just a weird glitch with your app. Just make sure you never forget to screenshot one. On second thought, that's way too much work. There's a notification? Oh frick. Dead. Work at a hotel on the beach. Usually, every night before I leave I take a walk around the building. Just make sure everything is okay, people are quiet, etc. All of our rooms have balconies, but luckily the way our building is set up you can't see into another balcony from another balcony. Earlier that day I had a newlywed couple checking in. All went normal then. Later that night, did my rounds, and I saw them on their balcony. He's leaning up against a patio chair turned backwards, pants pulled down, and she's sitting on the chair, giving him head. Okay, for all purposes that's technically an evictable offense, but I just remembered they're a newlywed couple, no one else can see them on their balcony the way our building is configured, so I just turned around, walked back inside, and let it be. At least I know their marriage got off to a good start. Hopefully it stayed that way. Luckily, a good architect is underappreciated. A great architect will go down in history. A good newlywed couple will go down. The marriage is off to a head start it seems. Walking to school on a soggy morning, saw my art teacher in her minivan changing her clothes. Normally, you can't really see into the side passenger area windows well, because they were semi-tinted a deeper color, but it just stopped raining a bit earlier and the sun came through the clouds and shined down on the car, lighting it and the area in general up very bright, and I could see right into the car window. Mind you, my art teacher was 29 at the time, fit and moderately attractive. Full on boobies. I was 14, in 9th grade. Probably one of the best days at school followed thereafter. Soggy morning you say? It sure was after that incident. God works in mysterious ways. I was at my friend's beach house when I was 16. He had a really hot sister that was about 20 at the time. We were watching TV in the living room and she comes in to hang out with us wearing a t-shirt and loose-fitting boy shorts. Looked more like boxers, to be honest. She sat near me and put her legs up in such a way that I had a marvelous view of her lady parts through the baggy leg of the shorts. I tried not to stare, but it was pretty cool when I was 16. My dad lived a few towns over from my mum, so I didn't really know anyone in his neighborhood. I was about 13 at the time and there was a high school girl that lived across the street from him. She'd get changed almost every night in front of her big open windows and I watched every time I was there. The cheerleaders lived across the street from me in college. Every day my roommate and I would sit on the front porch, have a smoke and wait for the cheerleaders to get home from practice. One would always change with her windows open and we just sat and watched thinking she never realized the curtains were open. Then one day she waved to us and blew us a kiss. Cue the debate. Do we go over? What should we do? What if she just wants you and not me? What if she wants both of us? What did y'all decide on? They fricked each other. This guy says that guy fricks. Smoking hot girl going down a water slide. Her bikini top got caught and came off. She had some very nice boobs. That reminds me of the time I saw the 60-year-old man going down a water slide and he was going so fast his bathing suit fell off and I just stood there staring at his big beautiful hairy balls flopping around. Holy jeez, I wanted to lick him. There is a place where, back in the 80s, we'd all go during the summer called Dripping Springs. It was on a local lake, like a big cove. People would tie their boats together and there was a place you could swim to, climb up a 30 or 40 foot tall cliff, easily. There was a trail, and jump off. As people got more alcohol in them, the clothes would start coming off. We were tied to this big 35-foot boat that had a bunch of really attractive women on it. One of them was just absolutely gorgeous. I said to my brother if only she'd take her bikini off, my day would be made. My brother said I think she heard you. My wife said I heard that. A few minutes later someone from the other boat whistles at me. I look over, and it's that chick buck naked smiling at me. She does a spin and walks away. My wife hit me in the back of the head. Worth it. Handed the Verizon guy my phone to get it turned back on. Opened Safari and first thing that popped up was the best pic of my boobs to date. We both just laughed it off. Been selling phones for like 10 years. Ran across accidental boobs more than a couple times. It is never the boobs you wanna see. Also work as a fireman, medic. See lots of boobs there. But they're always like 70+ years old. No good boobs there either. Oh frick, this reminds me. When I was doing long distance with my ex, we'd sent each other nudes. She requested pictures of my boner quite often. She really got off on those. Well, she selected her favorite picture of my boner and put his as my contact picture, even after I came back from living abroad. I knew it was a bad idea, as it would show every time I rang her. Of course the upside was that she'd always be horny when I rang her. Well, one day at the family dinner table she's telling everyone how she wants a new phone. Her mum, dad, sister and me were there. Her dad just looks up to me and says, "You reckon she'll install a different contact picture for you on her new phone? Why? Why would she do that? Must be a good dong." I was in London, and my sister and I got last minute tickets to see Patrick Stewart in A Life in the Theatre. We had amazing seats, 3rd or 4th row center. So at one point during the play, Patrick Stewart sits down on a folding chair, right in the center, in front of us. He was wearing loose shorts, and his freaking balls were showing through the shorts. They were huge. It was glorious and incredibly awkward at the same time. The whole scene, he's just balls out. I still can't look at him without thinking, dude, I saw your balls. When I was in 3rd grade we had a really pretty, red-headed student teacher. I can't remember her name, but I remember she was teaching us French for some reason. Apparently she spoke it really well. I'm not sure why that'd be part of the 3rd grade experience. One day she came over to help me at my desk with something and leaned on my desk and bent over. For whatever reason, she decided not to wear a bra that day, and right in front of my face, swinging in her dress, were the biggest boobs I had seen up to that point. It was glorious. I truly believe that event changed me and set the type of woman I've been into ever since. It was certainly a formative experience. This is when Ginger Tits Island was formed. Could I get directions to this island? It's not a route that Reddit would tell you. I had a similar experience in 4th grade. I was sitting in the front row and my teacher leaned over the front of my desk face to face to explain something to me. As she was talking, my eyes went down for just a moment as I looked right down her shirt. Her tits in a lacy bra were swinging slightly while she spoke, and I got a good eyeful of them. I looked back up to her face again and then realized that she had stopped talking. She was smirking at me now. She knew. Busted. Obviously didn't mind though. Okay Reddit guys, subscribe now, or Google will block you.